Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to a short and sweet idea towards Parashat Shmot. Very beautiful and very interesting to see that Chazal tell us, Bizchut Nashim Tzadkaniyot Nigalu Yisrael, which means it is by the merit of Jewish women that we actually got to the exodus of Egypt, we got to Yetziat Mitzrayim, we got to the first Geula. But that's very surprising. If we look at this first parasha, the whole parasha is actually about Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, Moshe Rabbeinu is the central figure in this parasha, in fact, in the whole book of Exodus, of Shmot, and continues through Vayikra, Bamidbar, and Devarim. He is the central figure. So why do we say it's Bizchut Nashim Tzadkaniyot? It's because of the merit of women that we got out of Mitzrayim. That is incorrect. We got out because of Moshe. With that question in mind, we have to remember that the famous saying that behind every great man is a great woman. That is an interesting saying because in this week's parsha we have to now look carefully. Who kept Moshe alive? First of all, Moshe came into being because of Miriam, his elder sister. Why? Because his father divorced his mother. That means Amram divorced Yocheved, and Miriam, his daughter, came up to him and said to him, "Your decree is worse than the decree of Paro, because Paro decreed that all the boys should be thrown into the river Nile, and now that you're not going to be with our mother, so you're not going to have girls either. Not only boys, you won't have girls either. So your decree is even worse." So she actually convinced her father to remarry her mother, and that's when Moshe Rabbeinu was born. So that's the first woman, Miriam. And then the second woman is Yocheved, his mother, who hid him away for 3 months and then put him in a basket on the Nile. And then the third time is again Miriam. Why? Because Vateitzav achoto merachok. She looked on at this little basket flowing in the Nile. What's going to happen to it? And then the fourth occurrence of an intervention of a woman who saves him is Batia, is Bat Paro, the daughter of Paro, who goes down to the Nile and she sees this basket with this Jewish boy crying in it, and she takes this boy in and she adopts him. And then again, the intervention of Miriam, who says, "Should I bring you a woman to breastfeed him?" And she says, "Yes." So she brings Yocheved. So again, there's an interaction here between Miriam and Yocheved and this Bat Paro of Batia. So it's women who are saving his life. If that's not enough, later on he grows up and he actually gets into the family of Yitro, and he's given a wife called Tzipporah. And this Tzipporah, once they were married and they had children, he was on his way down back to Egypt to fulfill this significant shlichut that he got, this very special exodus that he had to lead. However, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to kill him. That's what the pasuk says. Why? Because he didn't do a brit milah, he didn't do circumcision to his son Elazar. So Tzipporah understands this immediately, and she quickly does the circumcision to Elazar the son, and she saves Moshe. So we've got all these savings of Moshe, but behind this important man, there are many women who actually caused him to continue living and to continue on. In fact, if we look at the beginning of the Parsha, it talks about 2 women who were midwives, and velo asu ka'asher tziva alehem melech Mitzrayim, and they refused to do what the king of Egypt said to them. That is a revolution. That they started the revolution. They said no to the king. Whoa! Who has the courage to do that? It's only these 2 women. So the women who said no to the king, the women who kept Moshe alive in spite of the Nile, in spite of everything that happened to him, or in spite of all the turmoils, in spite of even HaKadosh Baruch Hu trying to kill him because he didn't circumcise his son, these women kept him alive. And therefore we say, Bizchut Nashim Tzadikaniyot Nigalu Yisrael, because it's thanks to these strong women who were behind Moshe Rabbeinu that we actually were zocher to the first Geula. We're told that in Yeshaya that Geula, how does it go exactly? The last redemption will be like the first redemption. So like the first redemption was because of these strong women who had an insight, and therefore we got to the first redemption. So it will be with the first this last redemption, that we are now in Atchalta the Geula. We believe that we've started this final redemption. We're back in Israel. We're building schools. We're building yeshivot and ulpanot. We're building the country. Things are going forward. And hopefully we'll get to Geula Shlema also, the bizchut and the merit of many women. Kol Tuv and Shabbat Shalom.